Naimba ni foni pa 0992 991 097.
Our television, bringing wisdom into your home.
Glad you could join us for today's news bulletin. My name is Fales Chizombe. First, the headlines. Pope Leo XIV to resume full schedule with pastoral visits and international trips. Government to roll out Mariep 10 to expand electricity access in rural and peri-urban communities. Minister of Local Government unveils digital platform to monitor CDF projects nationwide. And in our exclusive report this week, Tandwem Zumara examines Malawi's reintegration efforts and explores why the justice system continues to struggle to break the cycle of repeat offending. We do have the details to these and more, so stay with us. After a period of summer rest dedicated to reading, prayers, and physical exercise, Pope Leo XIV has returned to the Vatican and resumed his official engagements. The Holy Father will lead the Angelus prayer from the Apostolic Palace overlooking St. Peter's Square on Sunday, August 2nd, before resuming his weekly general audiences on Wednesday, August 5th. On August 16th, the Pope will travel to Assis to celebrate the closing Mass of a youth gathering marking the 100th anniversary of the passing of St. Francis. He will also celebrate Mass at a parish in Castel Gandolfo on the Solemnity of the Assumption, August 15th, followed by the Angelus prayer. We do have a Rome News report read by Patrick Popper.
Pope Leo's pastoral visit will continue on August 22 with a visit to the Republic of San Marino before traveling to Rimini, Italy, where he will celebrate Mass for participants in the 47th meeting for friendship among peoples. The Holy Father will also take part in the traditional celebrations of Our Lady of the Lake in Castel Gandolfo, celebrating Mass at the Lakeside Parish, built at the request of Pope Paul VI, and joining the customary boat procession. In September, Pope Leo will welcome bishops from around the world to the Vatican as part of their regular visits and continue his program of meetings. Later that month, he is scheduled to undertake an apostolic journey to France, visiting Paris and Mainz. A further international journey is expected later in the year. Although not yet officially confirmed by the Vatican, Pope Leo is anticipated to visit Argentina, Uruguay, and Peru in November, a trip that would hold a particular personal significance for the Holy Father.
Government says it will soon roll out the 10th phase of the Malawi Low Electrification Program, MAREP 10, as it intensifies efforts to expand electricity access to rural and peri-urban communities across the country. Minister of Energy Jean Matanga made remarks in Parliament on Friday while responding to questions from members of Parliament on government's electrification program and measures to improve electricity generation. Chilite Chiranga has filed this report.
Minister of Energy Jean Matanga says government has completed more than 86% of works under MAREP 9 and has since begun procuring materials for the next phase. She also acknowledged that the country continues to experience power outages due to limited generation capacity, but said government is addressing the challenge through new energy projects, including a 10-megawatt solar power plant in Salima, expected to be commissioned on August 6th, and 20-megawatt battery energy storage system that will help store excess electricity for use during periods of high demand.
The Ministry of Energy has a project on electrification of rural masses and people in peri-urban. So we are currently on MAREP 9. We have done over 86%. We will now shortly move into MAREP 10. On MAREP 10, what is happening now is a procurement of materials to be used in that phase. So we will shortly be moving from MAREP 9 into MAREP 10.
Meanwhile, parliamentary deliberations on Friday were adjourned earlier than scheduled after a technical fault affected the chamber's public address system. Leader of the House, Japi Muhango, said the technicians attempted to restore the system, but the microphones could not be brought back into operation, making it impossible for proceedings to continue.
The system malfunctioned and technicians tried to reboot it. It did not work. As a result, we were not able to use the mics. So that's the reason why we've opted for an adjournment.
Muhango, however, described the week as productive, saying Parliament had successfully deliberated on a number of critical national issues.
Minister of Local Government Ben Piri says the reformed Constituency Development Fund dashboard will provide real-time updates on the progress of more than 2,000 projects being implemented across Malawi, while promoting transparency, accountability, and public access to development information. Piri made the remarks on Friday in Milongwe during the official launch of the CDF dashboard, where he stressed the importance of ensuring that CDF projects deliver visible and meaningful results to communities. Bridget Monoka has filed this report.
Piri said time has come where every approved project must be implemented efficiently, effectively, and economically to ensure meaningful impact on the ground. He added that the system will allow both citizens and government officials, including the President and Cabinet Ministers, to monitor projects in real time, helping to track progress and identify delays. The minister also highlighted that the dashboard includes GPS features, enabling users to easily locate and follow projects in their respective areas.
It is the dawn of a new era. We have entered a different era altogether, where public funds will be able to be tracked and monitored by citizens themselves as taxpayers themselves. As you are well aware, over a period of time, taxes have been paid, but Malawians were not able to track where the money is going. Many times they have complained about poor hospital infrastructures. They have complained about schools and everything. And His Excellency the President, Professor Peter Mutharika, in his wisdom, decided that he was going to devolve resources.
Salima District Commissioner Thokozile Muntali Chingeni says under the reformed CDF, Each constituency is receiving 5 billion kwacha, translating to about 30 billion kwacha for the district, which has been earmarked for large-scale, high-impact projects in sectors such as education and connectivity, rather than small initiatives.
Today is an exciting day for all councils. It's a day that we witness that Reform CDF is really coming to being. As you are aware that for the Reform CDF, there's a lot of money that is being pumped in, 5 billion per constituency. For example, for Salima, we will have 30 billion as a district. We have aligned different projects, actually flagship projects. So it's not just that we'll be implementing small projects, but these are big projects that will have an impact in the area of health, education, bit connectivity.
The Reformed Constituency Development Fund CDF dashboard is designed to change how development projects are tracked and delivered across Malawi. Bridget Mwanoka, Luntha News.
Healthy expert Dorothy Ngoma has linked low exclusive breastfeeding rates in Malawi to poverty, limited workplace support, and weak community systems, cautioning that this affects child health and national development. Her remarks come as the Ministry of Health and Sanitation marks World Breastfeeding Week from August 1st to 7th, 2026, urging all sectors to strengthen support in the health systems, communities, laws, and workplaces. Clara Kanzati has filed this report.
Ngoma said economic challenges, lack of food, water, and heavy household responsibilities prevent many mothers from breastfeeding exclusively for 6 months. She has noted that with only 3 months maternity leave, working mothers struggle to continue breastfeeding and often resort to breast milk substitutes. Ngoma has, however, called for more community support for mothers and policy changes to extend maternity leave and include fathers' infant care. On breast milk substitute, Ngoma said demand continues due to work demands, travel, and health issues. She has stated that while laws are needed to grasp unethical marketing, enforcement must also consider cases where substitutes are necessary.
We are all aware that when a baby is born, the best food for them, for nutritional support of that baby to grow into a healthy human being, both mentally and physically and intellectually, is breast milk. So breast milk is best for the baby, and that's even how God made it for human beings, and therefore the expectation is that for all pregnant women, as they wait for the baby to come in readiness, we expect that the pregnant woman is supported nutritionally.
According to the Ministry of Health and Sanitation, breastfeeding improves child survival, nutrition, and food security, and it has urged councils, healthy facilities, and employers to support mothers. For Luntha Television News in Lilongwe, this is Clara Kamzat.
You are still watching news on Luntha Television with me, Falice Chizombe. Before we proceed, another look at the headlines. Pope Leo the 14th to resume full schedule with pastoral visits and international trips. Government to roll out Mariap 10 to expand electricity access in rural and peri-urban communities. Minister of Local Government unveils digital platform to monitor CDF projects nationwide. And in our exclusive report this week, Tandwem Zumara examines Malawi's reintegration efforts and explores why the justice system continues to struggle to break the cycle of repeat offending. Moving on, the Sorry I'm Not Sorry National Free Mental Health Therapy campaign has registered significant progress, with more men accessing free therapy services and mental health awareness initiatives. Deputy Country Director of Sorry I'm Not Sorry, Tokozile Kadango, says the campaign has expanded access to mental health support, reduced stigma, and encouraged more men to speak openly about their mental health challenges. Kadango made the remarks while commenting on the organization's report on the National Free Men's Mental Health Therapy campaign. Gift Kalonga has filed this report.
Kadango says the campaign was inspired by Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, observed in June, as the organization sought to create a platform where men could openly discuss their challenges and seek professional support. Kadango explained that although 202 men enrolled for the free therapy program, only 147 completed the 3-session package, with some participants joining towards the end of the campaign period, making it difficult to schedule all sessions before the program ended.
Honestly, we are very happy and we have made a significant progress, because our first ever men's mental health campaign was done last year in June as well. This one is our second men's mental health campaign. But now the difference is that the other one only happened from 10th June to 10th of July. This one started from the 1st of June to the 10th of July. We had a number of activities which we did, and we had a lot of things that we have done and also an impact that we have done. Basically, what we did was we had a national digital awareness campaign, we had a men's mental health solidarity walk, we had a national free therapy session campaign, digital community activities, advocates, community well-being, and also national webinar series whereby we were discussing different discussions in terms of men's mental health.
Mental health expert Dr. Moses Muocha says men's mental health remains a critical public health issue in Malawi, as many men continue to face challenges in seeking support due to cultural beliefs and societal expectations that discourages them from expressing their emotions. He says mental health should be treated with the same importance as physical health, urging men to seek professional help whenever they experience psychological or emotional difficulties.
Mental health, just as any other mental illness or health illness, is equally important to everybody. When you talk about mental health, you and I know that it's very difficult for men to to seek help regarding health. So when it comes to mental health, this is a new phenomenon in our country, because we are actually literally ignoring it, but it has been there for time immemorial. Mental health is as good as any other health issues. So it is very important that men understand the importance of mental health, because that's where the engine is all about. People think, people do things, people make choices based on their mental capacity.
Meanwhile, the expert has called on communities to create supportive environments where men can freely discuss their mental health challenges without fear of stigma or judgment. For Luntha News in Lilongwe, this is Gift Kalonga.
The concerned citizens of Malawi People Power Movement CCM and PPM has condemned inflammatory public statements and called on all Malawians to uphold the Constitution and practice activism responsibly. During a press briefing in Luntha on Friday, CCM and PPM National Coordinator Prince Mataka expressed concern over the rise in rhetoric that risks fueling tensions and undermining democratic engagement. The group referred media reports linking confrontational language to activist Sylvester Namiwa and said such statements could encourage conflict instead of peaceful participation. Judy Fogan has filed a report read in our studios by Charity Chiranga.
In his remarks, Mataka stressed that activism must remain peaceful, responsible, and respectful. He warned that promoting violence, intimidation, or disregard for constitutional processes weakens democracy. Mataka outlined a call to action, urging civil society and activists to hold leaders accountable through lawful means and based on credible evidence. He also called on public institutions such as the Anti-Corruption Bureau (ACB), police and DPP to investigate allegations of corruption fairly and independently. The group further urged citizens to reject violence, political manipulation, mob justice and misinformation, while promoting peace, unity and respect for national institutions.
We can question our leaders, we can demand accountability, and we can stand against corruption. But we can do that with discipline and respect the rule of law.
The grouping national coordinator concluded that the future of Malawi's democracy depends on constitutionalism, accountability, and the rule of law, not threats or intimidation.
The Evangelical Association of Malawi, EAM, has called on young people and women to step up and take control of the country's growing mining sector. Making the appeal at the end of a 3-day National Youth and Mining Annual General Meeting, EAM Fighting Inequality Coordinator Lusungu Komwenda Mangochi said the training was designed to equip youth and women with knowledge and skills to participate meaningfully in mining. Here's part of what she had to say.
Yes, so as a project, the Fighting Inequalities project, one of our key stakeholders is the youth, and so we are open and available to creating spaces for the youth, but also providing the resources as required. But even as we know that we have limited resources for everything, all of the activities, but even all of the stakeholders, but we are committed to making sure that the youth play their part and that their role is not missed.
The workshop, organized by EAM with funding from NCA-DCA, ended on Friday with the election of a new National Executive Committee. Newly elected NIOM President Asante Chiwamira echoed the call, saying the future of mining depends on youth leadership.
I just want to assure everybody who have voted me that they will see change in the mining sector. Young people will be considered, young people benefit, and also the bridge that was there between the government and the young people will no longer be there. Because as we know, Malawi, about 60% of the population, it's young people. So young people are the ones who are in the mining sector. And the third part is those young people are into as small artisanal mining, which the government doesn't support. So if the government will support them, that means you change everything.
Every year, hundreds of prisoners complete their sentences and leave Malawi's prisons, hoping for a fresh start. But for some, freedom is short-lived, rejected by society, unable to find work and struggling to rebuild their lives. They soon find themselves back behind bars. As Malawi expands rehabilitation programs, questions remain over whether enough is being done to prevent repeat offending. Stakeholders say that while rehabilitation inside prison is important, lasting reintegration depends on access to employment, family support, and community acceptance. Without this, many former offenders remain vulnerable to returning to crime. In this week's exclusive report, Tando Mzumara examines Malawi's reintegration efforts and explores why the justice system continues to struggle to break the cycle of repeat offending.
Serving a prison sentence is intended to punish offenders while preparing them to return to society as law-abiding citizens. In Malawi, the prison service has invested in rehabilitation programs that equip inmates with vocational skills, education, and counseling before they complete their sentences. But with only one halfway house in Balaka, which the service is operating in partnership with Prison Fellowship Malawi, the gap is huge.
We link up with other stakeholders like church, religious organizations, and indeed other socially related organizations to make sure that these inmates are well placed as they return back to their respective.
According to Prison Fellowship Malawi Executive Director Cornelius Luesi, its halfway house accommodates about 100 inmates per year, leaving 1,000 others not successfully reintegrated into society, putting them at risk of reoffending.
The reoffending comes in because in many cases, our prisoners are released from prison before being rehabilitated. Many of them, their sentence just expire and they are released back into the community without being empowered.
Recently, Member of Parliament for Mulanje Central West and People's Development Party PDP President Kondwani Nankuma questioned government's decision to pardon all prisoners serving one-year sentences, saying this has created serious challenges in the communities where the released inmates have returned.
They have gone back to our communities. They are now back into their business, stealing from individuals, stealing from offices, stealing from houses, a thing which is causing a lot of concern to a lot of Malawians.
Whilst noting its importance, stakeholders say rehabilitation alone is not enough, as many former prisoners leave prison only to face unemployment, stigma, and rejection from their communities, challenges that increase the risk of returning to crime. Governance expert Dr. George Chaima emphasizes the need for inmates to acquire marketable skills during their time in prison to help them become self-reliant after release, calling on government to consider support mechanisms such as funding or credit facilities to help former inmates restart their lives.
Government has got a duty and responsibility to manage all of its departments very prudently, making sure that every department gets what it deserves without any kind of bias.
Stressing that former prisoners who have served their sentences deserve an opportunity to rebuild their lives, human rights advocate Edward Kambanje has warned that continued discrimination against ex-offenders not only affects individuals and families, but also undermines public safety by increasing the likelihood of repeat offending.
Former prisoners and denying them an opportunity only pushes some people back into making crimes. A society that believes in justice must also believe in second chances.
Prison Fellowship Executive Director Cornelius Luesi notes that breaking the cycle of repeat offending demands employment opportunities, community acceptance, and continued support long after a sentence have been served.
There be proper rehabilitation procedures before an inmate is released into the community. Let there be empowerment. Let's empower them economically, let's empower them spiritually. If we empower these people, they can go back into the community and live a decent livelihood. But if we just release them into the community, we are just nesting a dangerous bomb that will one day explode.
Acknowledging that rehabilitation procedures inside correctional facilities through vocational training, education, and counseling remain one of its biggest challenges, prison authorities insist successful reintegration depends on support from families, employers, and communities after release.
Social stigma, there's a lot of stigmatization out there. People are not, some people, yes, are not ready to welcome these inmates back into the society. But if we can address this, then we'll be good to go.
During this year's 2026 SADC Head of Corrections, Prisons and Penitentiary Services Conference held in Salima, Commissioner General of the Malawi Prison Service, Wandika Piri, noted the need for greater investment in rehabilitation programs and support systems aimed at helping offenders successfully return to their communities.
The importance of rehabilitation as activities that are imparted, maybe the skills, knowledge, in terms of the vocational activities that we offer for the most part. There's the educational, the behavioral conduct, but then it's like there is now a keen drive to ensure that the community is also part of that process.
Acknowledging that some former inmates reoffend after their release due to a lack of economic opportunities and inadequate support from traditional leaders and communities to help them reintegrate, Minister of Homeland Security Peter Mokito recently disclosed that government, through its security agencies, is exploring ways to support former inmates with livelihood opportunities after their release to reduce reoffending and improve their reintegration into the society.
And we would like shortly to introduce a new project, and I believe that the donors are coming to support us. We want to train these prisoners in several skills. We would want also to commercialize their products and sell them and generate some income for the prison themselves. So that should be sustainable. They should use their own money to buy equipment. And where possible, when the prisoner is released, that perhaps he has done some carpentry, he must be given the tools to start new life with.
Earlier this month, the Malawi Prison Service disclosed plans to commercialize prison industries following the enactment of the 2025 Prisons Act, a move expected to expand vocational training opportunities for inmates and strengthen efforts to support their reintegration into society. According to the Prison Service, the new law provides a legal framework for inmates to participate in productive work inside or outside prison facilities while receiving payment or other forms of consideration.
That concludes our today's news bulletin. Before we go, another look at the headlines. Pope Leo XIV to resume full schedule with pastoral visits and international trips. Government to roll out Mariop 10 to expand electricity access in rural and peri-urban communities. Minister of Local Government unveils digital platform to monitor CDF projects nationwide. And in our exclusive report this week, Tandwem Zumara examines Malawi's reintegration efforts and explores why the justice system continues to struggle to break the cycle of repeat offending. I've been Fales Chazombe. Thank you so much for watching. Stick around for the weather update with Noel Banda. Have a lovely weekend.
Hello and good evening. It was very cold again earlier this morning, where Malibunde Longwe recorded 6 degrees as a minimum temperature, so too in Chipe Agriculture. It was very cold with 7 degrees over Chiteze Longwe. Bumbwe, Deza and Palombe recorded 9 degrees, a little bit cool over Monkey Bay with 15 degrees. We should expect cold to very cold and windy conditions to persist tonight and during morning hours coupled with isolated rain drizzles, particularly over southern areas, and where winds are expected over lake waters. This advises fishermen and all lake users take all necessary precaution measures. This is so because we are getting cool air blowing from the Indian Ocean, bring some moisture into the country to sustain some particular conditions, particularly over southern and central parts of Malawi, with more winds to be blowing over the lake. So tomorrow we should expect cool conditions starting from tonight again, clouds here and there with some rain drizzles over some parts of southern areas. We wake up tomorrow, temperatures of around 11 degrees as a temperature for Luntha, Zomba, Mulanje, Zuzu and over Lumphi, much lower over Longwe and Kasungu with 10 degrees, with more winds to be blowing over the lake. We should expect clouds to be seen during morning hours, isolated rain drizzles over some parts of southern areas, spread into parts of central parts of Malawi. Temperature might peak to around 29 degrees later into the afternoon hours over Mangochi and Monkey Bay, around 29 as well over Gabu and in Sanje. Expect warm weather conditions with 24 degrees over Longwe, Kasungu and over Nchinji, mild conditions over Mzuzu, Rumpi, Luntha, Zomba and over Mulanje with 20 degrees. Later into the afternoon hours tomorrow, it will be windy over most areas, few clouds here and there over central and southern parts of Malawi. Looking further into Sunday, we should expect windy conditions to persist across the country, few clouds here and there, a chance of rain drizzles over lakeshore areas and some parts of southern Malawi. Well, that's it for tonight and have a good night.
Luntha Television stands as an autonomous faith-based broadcaster with a national and international reach. Experience the difference with Luntha Television, where innovation meets experience. Our dedicated team, backed by cutting-edge technology, ensures seamless execution and unparalleled results. Luntha guarantees credibility and professionalism in all its endeavors and services. We offer, among this, production and broadcasting of jingles, music videos, narratives, documentaries, press services and programs on location or outside, live broadcasting of mass and other church functions, government or NGO functions, and political rallies, creation and broadcasting of